a shiver of water on moss, as Verlaine says of a song that weeps only to please you. In fact, Proust set each of his remarks within a humorous comparison that also achieved one more degree of art. For everything makes noise, even painters, who sing like a certain famous tenor. Generally, a painter, a house painter especially, believes he must cultivate at the same time as the art of Giotto that of Resque. This one is quiet, while the electrician bangs. I hope that when you return you will not find yourself surrounded by anything less than the Sistine frescoes. Music was also one of his subjects, because Madame Williams loved music and played the harp, perhaps also the piano. Clary told me what a great musician you were. Will I never be able to come up and hear you? The Franck Quartet, the Beatitudes, the Beethoven quartets, all music that I have in fact here, are the objects of my most nostalgic desire. Proust, who described the hawthorns or the young girls in flower, admirers of Parsifal, with its flower maidens and its enchantment of Good Friday, placed flowers at the heart of his friendship and his correspondence. He sent bouquets to the young woman, and he delivered a dazzling speech on autumn roses in poetry. He was aware of being heir to the literary tradition of the language of flowers. He felt that all women are tinted with the blood of roses. They recur in the title of the second volume of In Search of Lost Time, which Proust was just then writing. He demonstrated his knowledge of poetry, yet again, in creating a pastiche, from memory, of the whole of the once celebrated sonnet by Félix Havert, cited in Search. It is amusing to see that, in The Guillemot Way, Proust attributes this taste for quoting poetry to the footman Périgot, who, writing to peasants, whose stupefaction he anticipated, intermingled his own reflections with Lamartine's verses, as though he was saying, "Time will tell," or even, "Hello." Memory, in fact, was never very far away. When one is endowed with imagination, as you are, one possesses all the landscapes one has loved, and this is the inalienable treasure of the heart. But really, a home where you have memories of your family, a home which you cannot see, except through reveries which recede into the distant past, is a very moving thing. It was the memory of beauty that allowed these two infirm people to endure the ugliness that surrounded them. Proust was ill, and so was Madame Williams, who must not have been very happy with her often absent husband. We see her going off to take the cure at Bagnoles de l'Orne, or, "It saddens me very much to learn that you are ill. If bed does not bore you too much, I believe that in itself it exerts a very sedative effect on the kidneys. But perhaps you are bored, though it seems to me," words skipped, "difficult to be bored with you. Couldn't I send you some books? Tell me what would distract you. I would be so pleased. And one summer from Cabot. It seems natural to me that I should be ill, but at least illness ought to spare youth, beauty, and talent." In the depths of illness lies solitude. It is unusual to see Proust offering his company to a solitary woman. Letter 18. His letters, which take to an extreme the art of insinuating himself into others' hearts and minds, might have inspired jealousy in the husband. However, the misfortunes of the times came to outweigh them. The war, with its sorrows and its destruction. Reflecting this, for instance, is the very beautiful letter 25 about the bombing of Reims Cathedral. Madame Williams had had a book delivered to Proust, which we can identify as A de Marlatos, ce qu'ils ont détruit, la cathédrale de Reims, bombardée et incendiée en septembre 1914. What they destroyed, the Cathedral of Reims, bombed and burned in September 1914. Proust comments on it, after offering the opinion that the sculptures of Reims are both the heir of Greek antiquity and the heralds of Leonardo da Vinci's smile. But I, who insofar as my health permits, make to the stones of Reims pilgrimages as piously awestruck as to the stones of Venice, believe I am justified in speaking of the diminution to humanity that will be consummated on the day when the arches, that are already half burnt away, collapse forever on those angels who, without troubling themselves about the danger, still gather marvellous fruits from the lush stylized foliage of the forest of stones. Worse than the destruction of stones